Hi there, this is video feedback for discussion board 7, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Helen Pond here in Upper Michigan. And I think it's pretty appropriate that we begin by talking about intercultural communication, because this is something too that happens in different parts of our country, along with different countries in the world. And these include the meaning of different gestures and body language. This was something some of you noted in your discussion board posts. A few years ago, well, many years ago, I guess now, when I was in Tibet, the first time I was in Tibet, I had a broken kneecap. This meant I had a blue fiberglass cast that ran the length of my left leg. And when I was in Tibet, my husband was very excited when an elderly Tibetan woman stuck her tongue out at me. And this is because sticking out one's tongue in Tibet is a sign of the highest respect. And so we do have to remember that gestures mean different things in different countries. For example, too, eye contact. Many Asian children have been taught that making eye contact with their elders or people who are are in positions of authority can be considered rude. We, of course, hope our children make eye contact with us. This is something we definitely need to help many children understand. Some of you talked about comprehensible output, and I love this term because this means our students get involved too. And if you teach older students, don't be afraid to have them use comprehensible output. They love to have fun. Get them up and moving. Get them using total physical response. They can act out vocabulary. This makes those vocabulary words more meaningful and puts it in some kind of a context for them. And this, of course, helps all learners, not just our English language learners. A few semesters ago, I had some undergrads who were interning in a 5th grade classroom, and they kept marveling at how much those 5th graders love to get up and move. And in fact, the mentor teacher commented on how much she appreciated these interns getting her students involved in this way. If I hadn't sold my house and all of my belongings weren't in storage, I might be showing you some of the, excuse me, it's a little windy here, realia that I have and use. And these, I think some of our preschool and kindergarten, even 1st grade teachers are really good at having character noses for students to use. For example, if you were reading the wordless picture book, the lion and the mouse. But some of these things can be done with our older students too. Maybe not wearing noses, but even just putting signs around necks with pictures on it that they can use to help them act out concepts. Some of you talked about modeling. I love modeling, and one of the little tips I want to give to you is that this is important for all of our learners, and of course, especially our ELLs. I keep saying that, don't I? So remember that it's important to use gestures and body language, even body positioning, to show students when you are inviting them into your head so that they understand that what you are saying is talking your thinking out loud. And that's really an important part of modeling for everyone. Word walls and anchor charts were another favorite that you discussed. I love this topic. And I think it's important because when we arrange our word walls around theme, we can again help all of our students make meaning and see how vocabulary connections are made. And this helps students remember those important vocabulary words. Now, as many of you noted, those anchor charts may not look as pretty when we do them or make them with our students, but they are more meaningful when students have a hand in creating these. I remember a few years ago, many years ago, when I was teaching at the University of Louisiana, I was working with a little third grader in one of our internship classes, and she was having trouble with a number. And I pointed to it on a chart, and she went, "Oh, I didn't know that chart was there." It was the second semester, and of course that chart had been up all year round, but because she didn't have a hand in making it, it was a store-bought chart. It had no meaning to her. Going along with this, if you can have students read the wall, that is another great activity. You can pair up students, give them maybe pointers, and have them walk around the room, point to things, and read the walls. And of course, as you know, when they read in partners, those ELL students are more inclined to take risks. Some of you talked about social media, and that is great. When I was in Tibet, many of the teachers I was working, not Tibet, excuse me, Cambodia, many of the teachers I was working with were learning English through their phones. What a great way. And that was the only way they could learn English. And of course, Twitter, with its limited character length, does help all of our students with summarizing and making good, specific vocabulary choices. The last thing that I noted was that some of you talked at your discussion board posts that, you wish you would remember some of these ideas that you've really thought about this summer. One of the things I do is that I write ideas on my calendar. Sometimes it's on my print calendar. Sometimes I just put it in my electronic calendar, and it pops up then at different times of the year with a good idea that I can then incorporate into my classes. So thanks so much for your discussion boards, and I do hope you remember to go on and use the evaluation tool for the class. Thanks so much.